So I have a question in this video that I'm trying to see if we can come to an answer. That question is, can PlayStation keep up with Xbox's content delivery frequency? Now, what I mean by that is the amount of output in terms of games that can come out of Xbox's studios compared to PlayStation, and we're only focusing today on Bethesda. All this while I've been talking about this particular list that I've been trying to put together, where I'm highlighting the amount of studios that Xbox has and showing the amount of games that they have coming down the pipeline. I haven't even gotten down to the other smaller studios, but the juggernauts, Activision and ZeniMax as a publisher, or Bethesda, however you want to put it, by themselves alone seem to be very comfortable making Xbox as much money as possible. But today I wanted to go ahead and take a closer look at Bethesda and their game outputs, looking at everything they've been doing since the PlayStation 4 era, which is somewhere around 2013, 2014, to see how their games have basically been, coming. Now, before that, they had a hand in their Skyrim games and some of the Fallout games and, games all over the place. But I think that period of the PS4, things got a little bit more refined, if you were to ask me. And that refined aspect to it is what's been very interesting for me, looking at the reason why, at any rate, they were acquired by Microsoft. So if we go and start looking right now, we'll realize that at almost every year of the calendar, there's actually one game that's coming out of this studio, either a release, a re-release, or a remaster, or some heavy hitter like Fallout 4 in 2015. That kind of kicked off things. It was very interesting to see that game. And then, they had the Wolfenstein. That year alone, Bethesda was pumping that year, bro. I remember Wolfenstein, the Old Blood. That I played that for a little bit. I don't even know what happened to my copy of that game. What did I do? I don't even remember. I remember playing it for a little bit on PlayStation. And then Fallout 4, I remember buying it. My wife was like, "Oh no, you shot somebody's head off and there's blood. You don't want the kids to see that." So I went and returned it. I'm going to buy it again though. Finally, one of those things about logistics, right? Then you had Doom in 2016, which was a hit, and they bring their games out to as many places as they can get them to. They had the Fallout Shelter, small game, mobile game, but, an Xbox One. Game was vibing. Then they had Dishonored 2. The first Dishonored game is hiding somewhere around here. I remember they had the definitive edition and stuff, and I remember Dishonored 2. I paid full price for that game. Never played it because I thought I was going to cover it on my other channel, but I was so busy, making Tom Clancy's Division content. They brought out Elder Scrolls Legend. I don't even know what this game is. They brought Prey out, which was a favorite of many people in 2017 as the console generation was starting to get more and more mature. They brought out another DLC for Dishonored. They did Quake Champions. Evil Within Part 2 came out also in this generation. When did the first Evil Within come out? It came out in 2014. So in the same generation, they had already done Evil Within, and they had done a sequel to that. And then the Wolfenstein The New Colossus. Was this the one with the daughters? No, this was the follow-up to Wolfenstein. Oh my goodness. In the same generation, Fallout 76 then came out as the generation was going. And then Elder Scrolls Blades, I don't know what that is. Rage 2 was not a favorite for a lot of people. I remember that. There was not, there was a little weird conundrum with the reviews and such. I remember Rage. They give it away for free every day. And then Wolfenstein Youngblood basically ruined a lot of the legacy that had been built in the other Wolfenstein games. This was not a game that people liked. And then Doom Eternal came out, massive, heavy hitter, no doubt about that. Doom 64, Quake, and then Deathloop came out. And I think at this point, and I did all that just to, because I wanted to point out something. At this point, PlayStation was noticing them, right? PlayStation was like, "Yo, do you guys want to do some exclusivity stuff with us, man?" And they were like, "Sure, we'll take your money." And this is where Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo got money hatted by PlayStation. And then PlayStation started to work on trying to money hat this game. That's when Xbox went in. If Bethesda continues on this trajectory, or I guess I should say, if they improve the quality and then keep a similar trajectory, even just reducing their game output by one, I don't think PlayStation can catch up to that. It's simply just not fair. The assessment is simply skewed, and it's skewed towards Xbox's way. This is a very important thing that must be taken into account in this particular conversation, because what this does is this it really does help Microsoft in like 5 different ways. Number one, it gives the Xbox player access to games because the publisher that they've bought their console or their device is making games that they have access to immediately. Number two, it gives the Game Pass player access to games because Microsoft, wanting to deliver content as its major strategy, now has games that it can provide for its subscribers. Number three, it brings their games to PC, leveraging sales because now there are more users that can actually that's in their addressable market. If they want to buy the game, they can buy the game. If they want to subscribe, they can subscribe to the game. But we've seen results of something like this actually benefiting them with Starfield. So should they choose exclusivity, they actually have that as an option if the game is capable of doing well by itself and making its money back. That's insane that they do have these advantages to their video games. Then you have number 4, which is the games going multi-plat. So that those people who are on PlayStation, if they choose not to buy an Xbox, then there's no barrier for them actually paying for the content at the end of the day. Oh my gosh, for all the people that keep saying, well, you know, their games are coming to Xbox, I think you may have thought that that was a win. But no, that was not the win that you thought it was. To be very honest with you, you thought it was a win for PlayStation, but it's actually a win for Bethesda themselves because these content pieces are not going to pay for themselves. So making them available to as many places as possible is a big deal. And I also see possibly a Switch, iteration in all of this, that if you look at that particular chart, you'll see that there were releases that were coming out on the Nintendo Switch, even within all of this stuff, like, some of the Fallout stuff, some of the, games here and there. They had some stuff that were going to the Switch. And those are the things that you have to be looking out for, like Doom 64 remaster, finding ways to make money wherever they could. And this is just this is the $7 billion purchase out of the, 69 plus 7 that a lot of people continue to, in a sense, ignore that, it doesn't exist. Now, I'm sure in the comment section, I'm going to see the person that tells me that, well, Bethesda has not made a good game in the last so many years. Okay. I mean, that's your perspective, right? At the end of the day, though, what is the perspective of those who actually like Bethesda games, who play Bethesda games, who've made Bethesda a lot of money because they find Bethesda games appealing to them? What is their perspective on the matter? Their perspective is that they're buying these games. And that by itself is just so interesting. We'll see how PlayStation responds to this. It'll be very interesting, but I don't know if they can keep up to this kind of, content release frequency, which is what I'm actually trying to ask in this video. However, they do have some opportunities all over the place. The question now is, are they going to leverage those opportunities? Thanks so much for watching the video. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.